especially getting more serious with the project since it's been like a year and a half now. And I've had a lot of different artists that, we've met on the road, and we've encountered and made so many connections on the road. And especially, I mean, you've been on the front line with the retail part of it and also tattooing. And that's what I thought it was like interesting and to have experienced that and kind of how all that came. The start of all that is pretty interesting. Welcome back to Tattooing Out Loud podcast. Today we have a special guest from the East Coast. Go ahead and give us your name, how long you've been tattooing, your style, and we'll kind of go from there.
Hi, everyone. My name is Daly, and I'm from Venezuela. I've been tattooing for 22 years now, and I'm located in New York. My shop is Tattoo Mayhem in the Bronx.
In the Bronx.
Mm-hmm.
How did your grand opening go? Congrats, by the way, too.
Amazing. It was amazing. I thought of just doing absolutely nothing, and it was a last minute from the day before. And then the local news stopped by too, so that was crazy. It was really good. The acceptance of the community here.
Yeah. Did you plan? How did you find this area where you opened where was your previous shop?
My previous shop was more to the north of the Bronx, closer to Manhattan. Okay. But I live in almost borderline with upstate New York, but it's still the city. So I just wanted to move to that area because everyone I know is from that area. And I had closed my previous shop last year. I took a whole year to travel, and then I said, let me open a studio, literally where I live. So I just come downstairs. There's like a storefront and everything, but so I went private studio.
So there's like a whole like residential.
It's a residence building that has like commercial downstairs
space.
On the first floor. Mm-hmm. It's pretty neat.
That's luck. You kind of lucked out in that aspect. You could just walk downstairs then.
Exactly. No, don't you think that I chased this door for like a year, waited.
Oh, wow. What was the space before?
It was air conditioning industry, something. So it was a big company.
So it went from like utilities to turning it into like a tattoo shop.
Yeah.
Because you made it look like it looks like an office, like a upscale kind of.
I wanted to go private this time, and I wanted to offer like a little bit more VIP feel to it.
Yeah.
Taking one client a day. And
it's appointment only kind of thing too?
Appointment only, yeah. Totally different to the previous shop.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a different pace.
Absolutely. The other shop was a storefront, walk-in shop.
Yeah.
In the middle of like a very like transit area in the Bronx. I had 7 artists and piercers, and it was just completely different,
Dang. What would you say the area was in the Bronx, previous in the Bronx? Because it was like what, north of or closer to Manhattan, or?
Yes.
So that's tourists. That's like the Hollywood, right?
Almost towards Harlem, if I could give like a reference, but it was like far from the city, but still NYC. Mm-hmm. So the shop was there for probably 15 years. So we had clientele, very good clientele, but the neighborhood changed and started shifting. The locals moved out, and then all this Muslim community started to move in, and they don't get tattoos.
Right.
So there was we did good because we had our clientele. So they will come. At this point, honestly, I'm tattooing even the kids of my original clients.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, because that's how it goes. It transfers from the parents,
exactly.
And then the kids turn of age, and then they're like,
exactly,
they start coming in, and I mean, it's one of those things that it's always going to be there for it just kind of gets handed down, passed down to the next generation of who's the new clients,
Exactly.
So what was that? What motivated you to take that year break and go into traveling? Like, where did you go? Did you go back to, was it Venezuela?
No. Yes, I'm from Venezuela, but no, I just traveled.
I'm not going back.
No, I wish not yet. It's kind of dangerous over there right now. But I kind of like stepped into the couple decades tattooing, and I had a really bad year. my personal life. I, just lost it, and it was just a difficult year. Depression take a deep hit and that, and I just took a break. Then when I felt there was my time to come back, I come back to the shop, and I sat down there, and, big scope, I just keep thinking, I don't feel comfortable here. I just want to go back to the roots and just do art. And then I went back to look up all of my work that I've done. And I felt very accomplished financially for everything I've done. And I just didn't feel the same way about my art.
Right.
Quite honestly, that's what moved me to close my shop.
Mm.
It was the first time ever where I was financially comfortable to take the luxury. As a first generation immigrant, it's kind of hard sometimes to balance those things. So I made a choice. I chose career and make money, but that detached me from the art part of it.
The passion.
And then fast forward 21, 22 years, I was not proud of the work I've done. So I closed my shop and I just went and visited, my original mentors and the people I learned from. And then I got tattoos with people I admired. And
all in the East Coast?
1 year. No, I went to the West Coast. I went to Cali too. There's another tattoo Mayhem over there in Anaheim. And it's run by the person I learned from. And so I just went to the roots and started small as a walking artist just for the fun of learning and,
kind of sponge everything up again, huh?
Yeah. So I opened a new studio where I can take my sweet time and just do one client a day and kind of just apply everything I learned throughout the experience of the 20 years plus the dedication of that year that I studied.
Do you feel like you were tattooing with anxiety before that?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Like you were just the pressure and the stress and the...
Absolutely. My shop, my previous shop was a very, very busy shop. And my bills were very heavy.
Right.
So I worked every day, absolutely every day to make money. And then sometimes sacrificed a little bit, what I should be. I didn't turn away when I should have just to meet my needs or, to be able to get where I'm at right now.
Wow. Yeah. So, I mean, it's like you almost started to feel like just a machine versus going to work and enjoying what you're doing, the process.
Exactly.
I know a lot of people that face that and they kind of go to, they make it accommodate themselves so that they do have that balance between, because the mental will get to the demand, the chase. The chase can be like that blindfold when you're especially doing conventions and the amount of conventions. Because how many? So I guess let's start with your earlier time frame. How did you get involved with Tattoo Mayhem? And you met where in New York? Is that where you found your original the mentor, or how did you get into tattoo?
No. I learned back in my country in Venezuela.
Okay.
22, maybe 20. I did a 2-year apprenticeship with Pete Nunez. And yeah, I did 2 years apprenticeship before I was able to.
What year was that, would you say?
2007.
2007. Wow.
Yeah.
And then so that's in Venezuela, huh? How was that experience? Apprenticing?
Tattoo movement over there was not a thing. Okay. Especially a girl with tattoos was absolutely not a thing.
Yeah.
I was, as an apprentice, I remember being one of the first female tattoo artists in my country. That's how rare it was. Let alone in my hometown. It was a small hometown from border with the Caribbean. It was just not a thing. I was a chef, a line cook.
Culinary arts.
Yeah, I went to culinary school, graduated, started this whole restaurant thing, and it sucked. It was so difficult. Waking up every morning at 5 a.m. and just peeling potatoes and chopping onions and crying. And
right.
I remember I having this boyfriend that was a tattoo artist.
Mhm.
And he looked like very, glamorous and it was such a rock star. He
Right.
will just pull up at 5 p.m. I was sweaty, smelling like, onion and garlic. And he was just like, I finished working at like 2 p.m. and made 3 times more money than I did. And I was
Yeah.
like, I mean, let's give it a try. Honestly, I did it for to try out the money, and it looked easy. It looked just cool.
Were you an artist?
And
Did you draw already, or?
yeah, not drawing, but I did have an extensive background on oil painting.
Okay,
So that helped, but it was not everything because the medium is very different.
for sure. Yeah.
But then I gave it a try, and I was like amazed of how fun it was and how liberating expressing through art was. I just stick to it, just work.
Yeah. And
Until it got done.
what year did you move into? Your first destination was New York, right? Or
No, my first destination was Amsterdam. I moved over there.
oh wow.
It was so hot. It was just not easy to get into a shop. And I moved in with Pete, with
Okay.
Pete Nunez. And we went over there, and he landed a massive opportunity at Tattoo Painter, which is like an institution over there. They have like framed like this coil machines made in wood, and all these pictures with the artist like leaning with a rag and no gloves. So it was just
Very
awesome.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah. So he learned from him, and then I'll be home because I wasn't able to get a tattoo license, and I learned from whatever he would tell me he learned.
So he was kind of
But-
giving you the knowledge of what he's
Exactly.
learning. Yeah.
I tried. It just didn't happen for me. And then I just came here for a tattoo convention, and I stayed.
You were just like, I'm not going back.
It was really good. I came here to the Roseland Tattoo Convention in New York, NYC. And I was amazed. I was like, this place is so vibrant.
Yeah.
And, I was 20, 21. I just stayed.
I'm sure it was probably a little different, like the welcoming and
There was absolutely no welcoming
no
for a
welcoming.
Venezuelan girl with barely a little bit of English, this accent, and, very inexperienced. There was not such a thing as a welcoming, but
we made it happen. Yeah.
just work until it happens. Not 200 doors, one will open.
How did you adapt did you move right into the Bronx? Or was that the area you kind of stayed around, or where'd you move?
Well, I sort of visited this uncle that said, yeah, live in the city, just come, we'll receive you here until you're ready to move out. And I thought in my mind I was going to move, it was going to be like a Seinfeld-like experience. Like I was going to be
Yeah. Were you on
downtown.
TV? Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I knew about New York. It was so not like that. I see them pick me up at the airport and driving so far from the city all the way to a town called Yonkers. And it took an hour from the city. So I established there.
But wait, all the beautiful stuff's over there. Where are we going, right?
Yeah, where these guys so far.
Right.
But,
Yeah, that's what people.
What happened.
It's funny when some people will live outside of San Francisco or like the Bay Area, but then they live like in a very like hillside community, and they commute into the like Hollywood or into San Fran to work because it's
Crazy.
Yeah, it's just crazy with the rent and everything and the cost of everything. It's just, it doesn't make sense for some people. They can't afford it. And it's crazy to have the business there in the city.
Yeah.
And now, but I mean, if you're barely starting it, it's a lot more difficult. But since you've established, you have this following, you have the connections, and you branched off of so many people, I'm sure, right? Like from your first clients. How did that go with like your very first tattoo shop experience in New York? Where was that?
Oh my goodness. The only place that I actually received it was so crazy. I just walked to every single shop I found in a map.
Oh, okay.
And I just asked if they will let me do, even as an apprentice, like I will just take anything.
Right, get your foot in the door, yeah.
there was this barber shop.
Okay.
And I'm not proud to say it, but they were the first
It's a
people
start.
that
It's a start. Go ahead.
back. There's an office in the back type thing.
Yeah.
That's how it worked out. I was there for like a month or so before I was like, I gotta get out of here.
Yeah.
But then I started in another shop called La Finca de la Santa Muerte. It was a Spanish.
Nice.
Yeah, Mexican. Not the easiest. Anxiety took over when I had to like, the chance to like shine. Okay, show me what you got. I did not did well because I was very nervous to have 20 people around me looking at what I was doing. They put me through tests, do this tattoo, do this piercing, and my hands were like really shaky.
Yeah.
But then they gave me the chance. They gave me the opportunity. It felt very like, welcoming. And I stayed there for a little bit. My first tattoo, of course, was a Santa Muerte.
Yes.
And it was pretty cool. I didn't even know what it was.
Right.
It's not in my culture.
Sure.
And then I just, at the end of the year, I was eating the spiciest sauce, Mexican sauces, and just like knowing everything about their culture. I fell in love with it.
In a new environment, people you don't really know.
Absolutely. Everywhere I went,
yeah.
I just had to learn like a sponge, whatever I can grab from other people.
And how did when I don't know, because you were talking about culture. So did your family ever have any kind of resentment towards tattoos, or like, did they ever say, hey, why are you doing this? Or why aren't you sticking to the plan with the chef? Or
yeah, pretty controversial at first. It's a face type thing. Mm-hmm. I was the first person to get a tattoo in my entire family.
Yeah.
I don't do tattoos. And, my father will think I will go to hell. It was that extreme. Little by little, as you, once they saw I stick to it, and I did. It just gave me purpose and structure in my life, and they were, able to now. Like my mom has tattoos and everything. I did her first tattoo at age 65, and I was pretty dope.
You broke them in. Yeah. So how did then you guys decided to build Tattoo Mayhem?
I took over from somebody else. Yeah. I did almost like he was my mentor. I was not an apprentice to him, but the original Tattoo Mayhem was owned by Chris Nguyen, who himself learned from Inkman, an icon institution in the East Coast. And they had this traditional Irisumi. They're Vietnamese, but they went really traditional with new shading techniques and like self-made machines. It was just amazing. And I just had the opportunity to learn from Chris. He me under his wing, and I worked there for years until he was moving to California, and he was selling the shop. And I remember this bikers, like a biker club, wanted to buy the shop, but they wanted to buy the shop with me in it as an artist. And I was in the contract, and I just got so mad at him. Like, what do you think? You're going to sell me like I'm an object? And then he was like, whatever, you buy the shop. What? You take over. I was like, no way. But that's exactly how it happened. I took over and I embraced it, and I made it, myself. I made it my home.
Wow. And you started finding 7, 8 artists, you said? How many artists?
Yes.
How was that to manage? I mean, this is your first experience of like, okay, now quote unquote business owner, right? And you have to learn the ropes from nothing. So it's
I had shops in Venezuela, but it was just me and my business partner. But here, little by little, I just, I was the manager at Mayhem anyway. And it was people we've worked with for a long time. And after that, I didn't like where the shop was going. And I kind of cleansed the whole thing and trained my own team. And that went way better. So I trained my niece, who's like I didn't have kids, but she's like my daughter. She learned. And I got another couple of girls, and I taught them everything, and just we just managed to have like this work structure where, you know, I just taught them everything I know, and it worked out beautifully. And at the end, that's my current team. But it was not, you know, when you hire people that love what they're doing and they have no drama, really, if you don't offer drama, you don't open the doors to that. We had a good work team. We're really pretty just relaxed. Everyone had key. Everyone will go do their clients and leave.
Yeah.
Everyone knew, like, you know, there's no rules. We're just adults. And it just worked out beautifully. It was different.
Everybody
but
kind
it
of did
worked.
their own part, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I didn't like the way it was in all the other shops I worked in the past. I just didn't like.
So you kind of took a little bit of everything, right? You took a little bit of all the experiences and the do's and don't do.
Yeah. You know, I'm pretty sure you've been there.
Yeah.
You sit in a shop, a schedule, an 18-hour shift, and then you think about when you're not working, all you're missing in your life. All, you know, your family, your time that you could be learning. And as much as it needs to happen, it doesn't have to be like that all the time. So I didn't want to do that to anybody. So here's the key.
Yep. Yeah, it sucks because that's like the double-edged sword, like the catch-22 that, you know, the birthdays we miss, the, you know,
exactly.
the events and
Exactly. You start in the long winters, you start questioning, is this all worth it? Was this the right choice? Or just
I'm sure you've been through a lot of those where it's like questioning.
Exactly. Especially being a, you know, first generation immigrant. I have everything behind and just come here in the cold and just work.
But do you think that kind of worked to your advantage because you put your all into that versus still having a little something to hold on to, where like a contingency plan, like you're saying, hey, if I don't go all in, I'm still going to have something where you want to give yourself no option but to make it? Was that kind of like a...
Yes and no.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, because when you're a first generation immigrant, you start way behind. You know, it's in many ways a disadvantage. And, you know, very underdog type thing. But it is an advantage on the mindset because you get to a different place where you're going to start from zero and you only have a luggage packed with some clothes, whatever fit theirs, and lots of dreams. And you have to make it happen. Right. Otherwise, you know, your world will crumble on top of you. If you don't make this happen, you don't pay rent, you don't make your American dream, and you wasted all these years. So you just put a mindset that's very, you know, if you don't have the option to be comfortable, you get stuff done.
Right. Yeah, and that's a really good, like, is it work motivation?
Yes.
You know, you're just
no
like,
choice. Exactly. It's the best work motivation for
kind of put yourself back against the wall and make it happen.
Yeah, exactly.
And then how'd you get into the convention scene? Like, did you start that with Mayhem and then?
Yes. Started for a few conventions, just like an artist. Very shy. But, you know, it was intimidating to be sitting next to people that you admired and that you've only seen in magazines, honestly, magazines or like back then. Or like, you know, TV, stuff like that. And then it's difficult to get over that.
Right.
But then as a supplier, when we open Goliath Needles, it was easier because it's a more relaxed way to see it. And I was the CSO of the company. So I was in charge of sales and the pro team and all this stuff. So it was easier for me having this reach to network that I didn't have before when you're a humble artist that doesn't have fame or, you know.
Yeah.
So it was easier as have all these resources as a supplier. I can't, because of that, you can get into like competitions or stuff like that because obviously,
To
but
back you up, saying like, "Hey, we're a company," and
exactly. And you
where
start
did it come
meeting
about? Where did that come from? Did you guys have like did they just ask you to be a part of it, or how was that
no,
started?
Goliath Needles was Pete's idea, and we just were business partners, and we went full force on that since day one. Which is okay. The idea was cartridge needles when it was very new, when only 3 companies had it, and none of them were in the US. So we started at the very beginning here in the country. But then we said, "Wow, we're gonna limit to this. Let's do supplies." And then we said, and proteins and sponsorships were kind of new,
Mm-hmm.
or like access for like the everyday artist that's talented as the famous artist. And that's where everything hits. But yeah, honestly, it was just an opportunity. We saw the opportunity, we took it, it worked. We had extremely disciplined work ethics to make it happen. And we went door by door delivering samples until.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember you guys dropping off. That's how we first, how I even
Yeah, I met you. I remember. I
got a
think a
chance
convention.
yeah, the conventions. That's a huge opportunity to, like you said, to reach out to new corners, new avenues, because
Mhm.
a lot of people are gathering in one place, and especially the
Yes.
ones you guys. How many conventions were you guys doing as a company?
Every week.
Every week, yeah,
4 weekends, we will have 1 weekend off.
with boxes and setups and
Massive.
yeah,
We'll, to bring all this stuff because you know what you use, and that's already a lot
right.
to pack. But we need to have everything that every artist will possibly have, because if we don't have it, they'll go somewhere else and buy it.
Was the
So,
first few ones those were like learning experiences, and
yes, it was very humbling. I'm not gonna lie.
you're like, all right, I got to make a note. We need this, and we need to have this prepared.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Yeah.
But it was
Could
very
imagine.
fun. It was really fun times.
And so, did you have that also tied with Mayhem, or like
No, we worked within the same headquarters
okay,
for a year until the business kind of like kickstarted. So Mayhem kind of like pushed,
sure, use it
this
as a
baby
platform, yeah,
until it walked by itself. But no, we were not tied in any way.
okay,
Yeah, and I just sold my shares on Goliath to pursue my tattoo career because I felt like that was detaching me too much
yeah.
from it.
Like,
And
you're like, am I going to go into sales or am I going to be an artist? Right?
yeah, I loved it. I loved the tattoo. Yeah, I felt like a gypsy
Yeah,
moving,
yeah.
just traveling. It's really fun, but it gets old. I'm sure you know that too.
No, for sure.
It gets old and it gets tiring. And as you age, you
Yeah.
can't do the same.
Yeah, conventions. When was the last time you've done one?
My goodness, 3 years probably,
Yeah.
4 years.
Yeah, same. Because I feel like
Really?
it's a lot. It's a lot of work to travel.
Yeah.
I've traveled since then, but I haven't traveled to tattoo convention. I've traveled to do like a guest spot, or go
Okay.
still
It's
tattoo.
way more relaxed.
Yeah, it's a different environment. It's a different mindset too, because now you already know what you're going to work on as far as people from these conventions and the locations, but
Yeah.
you're not going with the pressure of like, did I have my banner? Did I have this? Or did I? The only downside to that is, sure, you do need to cover yourself as far as make sure you do have everything you need, like your supplies, because there is not going to be a supply booth. And if you go to a shop, those artists may not have the setup that you use, obviously. So if it's not in your state, like when you go out of state or you do like, the sessions somewhere else, you have to really,
Yeah, you have to adapt.
yeah. But, and then it's like, you get it down to a science. So like my suitcase literally will look like check. All right. like even down to the stencil stuff you use, you know, it's like the glide or whatever. You have to have everything, single thing checked. Your
I never
inks.
thought about doing like now you say that, and I feel like I missed out because I
I
never
had
thought
to do
about
that.
making like a written list.
I had to
It
do
was
that
just mental
because
list, and then
yes,
you always
you
forget
forget something.
things.
Yes. That happened to me up to the point where I had to literally check things off, and I was like, make sure I have the smallest things. Like, I don't want to be out there with stencil or not enough stencil paper. If you don't, you know, if you could, if you know, there's a lot of stuff you could just freehand, but then sometimes you do need to have a stencil, and then you're
Yeah,
like, okay, I only have 6 sheets left, and you're trying
yeah,
to figure it out. But it's a learning experience too. When I would go do a guest spot versus conventions, because it's like it's two different, you know,
absolutely.
that's pretty.
What do you like more? Guess
I
spots.
do miss the conventions because of the community.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It's like you go there, and especially you guys were making you had a name going around, right? So they would see you at the booth, or then now you're showcasing your shop, and they're like, "Oh, this is sick," or "This is cool," or "I know you," and then you could introduce the other artists to this person that you know that you met at a convention. So therefore, you're linking a lot
yeah,
of people together, and that's super dope. But it was like a family reunion going to a convention at times because everyone's following each other around, and that's what I miss. But then it's like now I can just go to that person's shop and not have to see him at a convention. I can just be like, you know, like in
yeah.
Baltimore, I can go to see some Baltimore friends or Michigan or whatever. And instead of I'll see you in Philly, you know?
Right. But you had to do that to
Right.
build
Right.
that, you know, friendships and network and all that stuff.
Yeah.
You had to do that.
I will say though, that's what for sure I miss is that part of it. But it's been yeah, I don't say I'm done doing conventions, but I'm just gonna like I have to really plan it now. Is what
Same.
I'm trying to say. Now
Hmm.
we have to plan it. So it's like
Same.
yeah. So and now with your style, how did you adapt the style that you do? Because you're pretty well rounded, you would say too, or
Yeah, I do black and gray.
okay,
That's what I do. But it's been 22 years. So I went through all kinds of stages. Like at first, I wanted to do anime. And that's what I trained myself for. And then I land in the Bronx where nobody even know what anime is. And then I do this mentorship with Chris doing traditional Irasumi. And I mean, like just to draw a dragon or a snake that he will say is decent took me like 3 years. And then the style sort of like died out when I got good at it. And it was just such a shame I didn't stick to it because I couldn't meet my ends. But that was the big thing for me.
well, because
And then
you're really trying to depend on this is the
I
style that's
couldn't
gonna
find, I'm not gonna lie, I just couldn't find what my style will be.
sure,
And I just keep feeling so frustrated that everyone will figure out since the beginning and stick to one thing. And I couldn't do that myself. And I try. I wanted to do color so bad. And then it was just not my best. And I I keep trying, like, I just work.
right.
It's never stop working. So I know that even when you don't have like a natural template, that not only compensates, but it makes you excel when you just have work ethics and you just never give up. But it just didn't work in the Bronx. It just didn't work in East Coast. And then boom, 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 fast forward 10 more years, I'm doing black and gray. And then this big movement in East Coast with micro realism. And
Oh yeah,
everything is that mini portraits, fine line and all this stuff. And then you're like, well, make money, always stick to doing large pieces. And then, you know, I mostly do black and gray. That's like, that's what I do the matter.
yeah, the black and gray.
But I've been through my, you know, stages at least 3 years.
Yeah,
Being my favorite Japanese for sure.
Japanese is your
My
jam.
main most favorites.
Yeah. So what would you the difference between the Bronx scene and
That's a
other
special place in my heart.
yeah. What would you say the Bronx scene versus like the other like boroughs? that you've worked?
I have my clientele.
Yeah.
The huge difference will be downtown. It's all fine line, fine line, fine line, fine line, and everywhere else, black and gray is still big.
Yeah.
It's a thing. You know, there's a lot of Queens. There's Queens, Brooklyn. They do a lot of black and gray. But whenever there is an Asian community, there will be really, really big on microrealism. They have, you know, all these guest artists coming from Korea, Japan, China. They excel on microrealism and color microrealism. That's very heavy. Right now, I think that will be what's the hot stuff.
Wow. And so then your breakthrough in the industry as a woman, you said, was kind of difficult in Venezuela. How do you think it would be?
Absolutely.
Did you feel like you were starting all over from zero once you moved to New York, like to make this?
Every time you move, you start a little bit from zero, yes.
Yeah. Was that something you already expected, or you're already prepared kind of thing, or?
I suppose when you leave your country, your comfort space, you have to put in your mind, and I know let's just see what's for me out there. But you have to humble down and understand it. You have to start from scratch. And I went from having my own shop, which was pretty stable and, you know, just known, to work in the back of a barbershop is it's not easy. But that's what I wanted. I wanted to go out there and, you know, start all over again and learn. I feel like Venezuela was so fresh in the tattoo industry that it got too small.
Okay.
So it got to a point where I was bored. You know, I'm not learning. And I'm 20 and I don't have anything to attach me. So let me go out there and see what's there for me. And then traveling, once you taste traveling, you want to go back.
Right. Well,
it's pretty fun.
You're absorbing different cultures, different art, different influences. What was your, like, you know how we have the social media now for inspiration or like a reference. Back then, where were you? Just like picking up magazines to look for like any kind of...
There was no like, oh my God. Oh, I want to talk about it because it makes me feel so old. But I'm from like, I remember the times where there were just magazines, you know, there was that Tattoo and Tattoo Life. I'm pretty sure you've seen them.
Yeah.
But that's all we had. I swear to God, that was all we had to learn. Like we will see, I don't know, Robert Hernandez in these magazines, and he's like, it was mental to see how he will dilute blacks. What? You know, like, and then now it's like everyone feel confident enough to even develop their own style and create their own techniques and even make their own inks and all this stuff. So
yeah,
it's just mind blowing. It's just mind blowing. But yeah, when I started, it just felt too small. And then you go out there and you just see, you know, let me try to get to know as much as I can. And then this is the place where I found my own home.
Yeah.
If you will. Tattoo Mayhem became my home.
And so what's the name of this shop now that you have?
I kept it. It's been Tattoo Mayhem forever since so like
still 2009.
Yeah. So I thought about when I took over, and then I was like, oh, people's not going to know. If I changed the name, they were still the same people. So I left it. And then I changed locations and I felt the same thing. Oh. But for now, I'm keeping Tattoo Mayhem. Maybe in the future, I'll change the name since we went private studio.
Yeah. So people are still able to find like your information online if they search Tattoo Mayhem, or how does that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's just now you have to actually like book your appointment. It's not
exactly. You just open one client a day and we try to serve an experience.
Who are the other artists you have in there? Because it looks like, how many booths do you have? Is it?
Right now we're an all-girl shop. There's only 3 booths, but we change and we have like a calendar. We try to do like one client at a time.
Okay.
So I'm the one that works the most, and we just book the day. We just book the day and reserve it for that person. If it's a rather like large piece, if we have like, little tattoos and stuff like that, we may work all together.
Okay, I got it. So it's like their own personal space to work around someone else in a sense too. Like if the other artist wants to come in, yeah.
But the way I'm working, since I just wanted to make it that way. Like, okay, this is my time for me to relearn, collect all I've gathered throughout experience, plus my traveling year and new training, and then take my sweet time. So that's what I want to do. I want to take my sweet time without the noise of the convention. And you have to finish. And then you need to see this person again. Or, oh my God, I booked 3 people in one day. Oh, it went wrong because it's like, someone appears 15 minutes late, and then that messes up your whole schedule.
Even 15 minutes makes a difference.
It makes a difference. And the difference is anxiety levels.
Yeah.
And that makes you not deliver your best. So that's why I went 1 client a day, and then just take your sweet time and do as good as you can.
Right. Are you still practicing the mediums of oil painting, or what kind of art styles are you working with?
Oh, not really. I stopped 3 years ago, but yes, it's something that I always just retake. Sure. And now I enjoy it. I do it with my niece. Okay. And it's just so much, it feels so much better to do, just sit there, we paint together. We love doing like a girly type of gathering when we do that. With classical music and tea and cute.
Yeah. Like the paint silhouettes. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's our like self-care time type thing.
That's good. Because that's a little bit of that balance.
I wanted to left that untouched, I don't sell any of my paintings. I don't post any of my paintings. I just want to leave that as an expression. It's once like you start selling.
Own personal thing, huh?
Yeah. It's like being a tattoo artist, I would say, is the hardest art expression, because you go and try to express your art when you have to, like your canvas is moving.
Right.
And it's porous and it's alive. And then it feels pain. And then they tell you what to do. And then they tell you what they want and what they expect, and the amount of time they expect it to. So how can you express your art, your best, if you have all these variants?
Yeah.
So
I was going to ask you that question too, is what is like the common misconceptions of tattooing with what people like, the myths versus the reality, like you were mentioning right now? Like, what would you say is what? Because like now you've been doing it for what you said, 22 years? How many?
Multiple decades, yeah.
So now you've experienced so much where you hear someone, let's say this week or this month, tell you, I want to be a tattoo artist. What's your response to that? Where you're like, okay, what is your myth, or what do you think tattooing is, right? Because it's like, I've lived and I've sacrificed so much. What do you think this life is about? What makes you want to, or do you feel like, what is your take on that as far as
so if you asked me a few years ago, I will answer differently, because yes, I learned how to build my machines, and I know how to put my needles together and how to make my own ink. Like we learned from zero, and that was so easy as Amazon buy. And then, I'm doing tattoos on my house with this kit that I bought, and I watched videos on YouTube. Okay, so it feels, it sometimes infuriates me, but at the end of the day, I just take it with the kindness of we pave a path for this to be easier. Yeah. And I never liked the rough gatekeeping methods of the older generations from back when I started, where apprenticeships had to be, yes, you have to work for it, but does it really have to be like cleaning shit, the toilets, and just treating me you can be like, shit, I'm very really using people. And it doesn't have to be like that. It's like being a parent, I believe, like if you were treated a certain way and they weren't kind to you, you don't have to perpetuate that.
Right.
That's just my take on it. But
you kind of reinvented this new way of learning, this new approach.
Yeah, like at the end of the day, if they don't put in the work, they won't make it.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you teach them with a strong hand or you let them creative develop however they want. So
it's like anything, it's like if you don't put in the work to it, and also the amount of work and like the where's your, like, again, the passion for it.
Yeah.
Exactly. That could be missing, and then one day you can just be like, never mind. And then that's the real big slap to the face if you're starting off an apprentice. And then it's like I still invested time into you, and it's, that could be a hard thing. And so with technology, are you building the social media for this new spot? Because I know you kind of did like a really nice reel for the grand opening, or like the advertisement. Is that something that you kind of had to get?
No, I suck at that.
Do you have someone doing that, helping you, or?
No, I suck at that. Like I don't do. No, I forget to post. I end up working so late. When I get home, I forgot. And then tomorrow, I woke up late and I have to run back to work. I never have time for none of this stuff. I don't know how to edit. I don't know when to post. I don't know how to. No, that's not my thing. Honestly, I just built a clientele and I opened an Instagram when Instagram started. And that's it. I just post sometimes. I don't know how to handle none of that stuff. I am very lucky to have people that kind of like just like repost or support. I have charity programs in my shop too, and that helps a lot with social media because it brings the attention of the local news or like, like I do, for instance, like we always done 20% off for first responders, police department, fire department. And we also have a free program to do the aureola tattoos for cancer survivors. Yeah, and that's kind of like, you can't really post that on social media because they flag you, they take down the post, but people spread the word. And I think that's one of the things that has helped me the most. Yeah, and when you stick to one place, if you move around too much, you could get good and raise your prices and all this stuff, and build a career. But when you stay in one place, you build a clientele that's loyal. And that's what I did. That was just my choice. I stay in the same place, and I just, through, slow winters, and I just,
you have something to
it
fill
just
it.
happened.
Yeah. With the slower season, like they say, you have fill-ins for that time slot, right? You always
it's not slow for me anymore. I'm blessed, but it used to be. And I just stick to it. All right, so use this time to draw. Use this time to like do free tattoos. Use this time to promote, charity programs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And, just hold back on expenses.
Sure.
Here, how it works here? In the East Coast, a lot based on tax season. I don't know if over there it's like that.
It's kind of like that. You know when it's tax season, or there was an artist I had on, and he mentioned that you want to get your clientele in the beginning of the month while they have the money before they blow it out on bills or blow it out on stuff, or after they pay. New
York is like that big time. We call it tat season. That's how it works. Like, you work starting from the end of February. Mm-hmm. Boom, 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 every day. No days off. I do not take a day off until June. And the rest of the year, you work if you want because you already made
your cut.
Yeah, so that's kind of like how it works in New York. It's just been like that. I didn't design it. Once you have clientele, it gets more stable. But when you're starting, you work based on that.
Right. And what do you use as far as your tattoo machines? Like, what's your setup like?
So because I had tattoo supply business, I tried a lot. But honestly, right now I'm only using JN and FK iron pens.
Okay.
I have like 4 that I use every day.
For your style, with your style, because you've had
powder
coil
shading
machines, right? Yeah.
Yes. I actually found it yesterday. I have one of my, I don't know, I was just cleaning up and I found a little bag with like old coil machines, and I have like a cam. Do you remember it?
The cam supply.
That was like with the little, oh my God. I found it yesterday and learned with that one, and it makes such a crazy sound, and you see the sparks.
That thing needs to get adjusted off. They probably need to get a good little maintenance on that machine.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So you adapted to the pens, and that's what your style is like.
Yes. Because I do. I've always done medical tattooing on like side by side with my career, and for medical and for cosmetics, it's always been a pen. So it was never a change for me. I've always had both. The person I learned from always kind of like frown upon when I will use pens for, just ornamental tattooing, because it's like, the line's not going to stay.
Yeah.
It's a whole different technique, whole different, gift to it. It's a whole different everything, but I like the pens. I'm not mad about the evolution of tattooing.
Yeah.
I still have some coils, but
right.
Do I want to go through the trouble? No.
Yeah. You're already like well accustomed. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny. So then the aesthetic of the shop really fits your clientele, would you say?
No, it fits me.
It fits you? That's more like you. Cause I was looking at at the shop, and then you have a video online where it kind of shows a little bit better.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, man, talk about
I've remodeled my shop. I've remodeled my shop. It went from like, obviously we all worked in a whole black environment. That's like, you feel like that's a must, like you have to. And then I went all pink for some time. And then I went white, and I regretted it so bad. And I said, you know what? Right now, it's just about the art. I want the client to enter the shop and feel the complete relaxation. Neutral colors, just everything. And I put a banana plant over there.
Saw the little leaves. I was like, that's a banana plant.
That's just to let people know I'm from the Caribbean. So
yeah, you got to bring a little bit home.
But yeah, look, it's just clean.
Super nice.
Just really.
Well, especially if you're doing medical procedures, this looks like a medical procedure spot. Like not medical,
exactly.
sorry, like the permanent cosmetics. Like, like
I do that a lot.
Yeah.
And I wanted to make it be known that we're like feminine, but I didn't want to make it look like a hair salon or a spa. You know what I mean? I still wanted to make sure it looks like a tattoo shop. So I just have like images of tattoos.
What's funny how we go from the traditional tattoo shop look to this more of a chill vibe.
Yeah.
It's like more of a, because some people may not even care. They just want to come get something done, and they're like, I don't care if this looks like a death metal hangout, or like a, like a gothic setup, or if it's Barbie Pretty in Pink.
Yeah.
But then it's also your workspace, so it feels good, the energy.
Yeah, the only thing I did for me here was to get a good chair. I feel like tattoo chairs out there are sort for men. They're uncomfortable for girls. And my back, after you tattoo so long, of course, your back. So I got myself dental chairs, and that's the best investment I've ever did. I don't have to move a chair ever again. It just have a remote. Do.
Yeah.
No, it's pretty neat.
Yeah, no, those, and it raises up to your comfort.
Yeah, exactly.
That's one thing we didn't care about 15 years ago. Yeah, we're like,
at all. And then it's important. And then you find yourself like, working in
Okay.
positions for like hours. And then when you stand up, it's like, this is not sustainable.
Yeah.
When you're in your 20s, of course, you leave off, like Diet Coke, cigarettes, and touch. You can power through for like 15 hours, but working 40s.
Yeah. No, it's funny. A lot of guys that I've had on the podcast too, they will be talking and all of a sudden we're both like stretching because we're both and like my
Yeah.
chair's the same. Clients will say, oh, like, that chair looks because it has almost like a nice support for the lumbar and everything. I'm like, yeah, I put myself on game because the chiropractor, having to get adjustments. I have
I've
to.
never done that.
It's
That's scary.
I guarantee you, once you do that, it's a game changer. Get
Yeah.
adjustments because then they kind of help you. I want to get my chiropractor on here because she would help all of us just kind of give everybody knowledge. But she's like, she puts me in check, like, okay, this is how you got to sit. This is your posture. Always remember posture when you're working. So I check myself now after.
Impossible. We always look like turtles. Like,
it's hard. We're hunchback. We're all, yeah. But it makes a difference once you do take all that into account and you start thinking about okay, how am I sitting? My breathing.
Absolutely.
Your diaphragm. And then it's like, and it helps you prolong the session and then exhaustion after isn't as bad. You're not as fatigued.
Exactly.
And there's a lot.
Same thing with the lighting. It's just like when you're starting, you're so focused on zooming into the tattoo that you don't think about the external, that actually does help a lot. The more comfortable you are, the better you're going to tattoo. If you're not like sweaty or uncomfortable, like sitting down, or you're actually going to perform more better.
The heat,
everything.
Yeah.
Even the music, honestly.
Right. The music, yeah. So you, do you have any, like, would you say there's a big, like a Latin community where you are too? Like have you met other, like in your area that you're able to relate to other people also that maybe come from Venezuela? Has anybody ever come to visit you or?
Not at all.
No?
No, so Venezuela is, Venezuela and the United States broke. I know this is a non-political podcast.
No, you're good.
But they broke diplomatic relationships, so there's no traveling.
I got you.
And it's been like that for so many years.
How would you want, if you were to travel, where would you have to go? You have to like go somewhere else and drive into?
I would have to go to like Colombia, which is right next to it, and then just drive through the border or something like that. But there's no traveling there's no flights, not even.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Straight cut off, huh?
Yeah. So there's a lot of very, very talented Venezuelan artists here. Yomiko, Darwin Enriquez. I don't know if you've heard of them, but they're like amazing.
Yeah.
And there's so many more. But we got here before it got bad. And, we're all like in our own studios doing our own thing. Now we don't get together. But there is a big Latin Spanish community where I'm at, mostly, I would say Puerto Rican.
Mm-hmm.
But my neighborhood, it's a half Puerto Rican, half Italian neighborhood. But yeah, it's not too many Spanish artists that actually are in the Bronx.
Sure.
But we do have some actually from the pro team, remember?
Oh. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's cool.
Yeah.
Did you ever think you were going to be where you are now? I mean, because I know, I don't want to say this is it, but because I'm sure you have other plans and things, because this is just, week 2 in the studio, or from the official
and the new
opening?
Studio? Yeah, probably. Yeah. I'm like 3 weeks in.
Yeah. So you obviously have to get adapted and adjusted to this new space, where am I going to put all my supplies? Where am I going to store everything and have everything organized? And do you ever sit back and you're like, wow, here we go again, start from zero, clean the slate again, like you said, start from brand new, and you're just kind of
that part is exciting. It actually keeps you busy, and I like that part.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have the same ambitions that I had, coming from where I'm from and wanting an American dream and all this stuff. Got done. worked through everything I wanted to do. Now is the time where for the first time I kind of like I said, I'm just like, now let me just do art. And I'm enjoying every minute of it. This is where I wanted to be 20 years ago. And it just, that's not the cards I was, handled. So now I can do it. And that's what I'm doing. And I remember I went and got a tattoo when I just closed my shop. Heartbroken because I second thought this so much because it was a very successful business. And everyone felt it was so crazy. Why are you going to close your shop? Where it's at right now? And then the answer to do art was just not convincing to anyone. But aren't you proud of where you've gotten? And then I just, financially, yeah. But if I look at my work, sad answer is no. So I want to do more. And I went and getting a tattoo done with Robert Hernandez on my leg. I just soaked in so much knowledge. And it's usually the famous and like super amazing artists, those like above average, talented, the ones that are the most humble. It's always like that. And they give you like pieces of advice. And, he mentioned, what is his name? Bob Tyrrell starting his art career in his late 30s, early 40s. And I was like, well, thank you. And then that's just like, okay, I'm going to stick to this because this is what I want to do. I don't want to worry about anything other than doing the best I can and collecting more, technique.
Right.
I can apply it. That's why that's my only ambition, right?
It helps you to get that recharge and that,
yes,
hear another perspective.
Absolutely.
Or let someone at like you mentioned, someone well-known.
Someone you admired.
Yeah. Ground you a little bit, give you a little check, You need that once in a while.
Yeah. My heart dropped when he said, show me your work. And I was like,
yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
But, then I explained the whole thing. And he said,
I'm sure that was a crazy experience too.
Yeah. I don't know if you remember from the protein too. Albert Rosal.
I think so.
Albert from New Jersey, Industrial Inc. He's a person that I admire so much. He's from Spain, but he has shops here. And he also gave me like, just
the talk.
Yes. You just do it with your heart.
Yeah, get it together. Yeah.
Yeah, just do art. Just keep learning.
Yeah, because you got to think once they've all felt that, I'm sure, and their mind was in the wrong. Like our minds could be in the wrong thing. Like the spotlight is fixated or focused on the wrong purpose, or we have to just shift it a little bit, shift gears. Shifting gears is not a bad thing, like downshifting, because that's obviously you're going to slow down a bit, but for the mental stability of it, it's better.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's nerve-wracking when you are like busy street shop.
Right. That's a lot of movement, 100 miles an hour.
Yeah. I remember seeing you like that in tattoo conventions, like nonstop tattooing.
It was crazy.
Like it'll be people like standing just one after the other waiting.
Really, it builds you different.
Yeah.
I started doing the conventions 2014, but I had the wrong idea. It was cool and I was just bow going, but then when it stops, what do you do with yourself? And then you're just like, I need to go do that. I was like addicted to that.
No, I get it.
You know what I mean? I was addicted
get it.
I was addicted to the volume and the work. And it was a weird thing because you're exhausted and you're like, but I love that. Like I was just.
Oh, I did that. And at the end of the day, you feel like building character and building,
but it's not.
Who can do this?
It was, again, it's just the wrong. I was fixated on the wrong thing, though. I would do it again. I just would do it different, is what I'm trying to say. I would not, because I've met the clients that I met on the road are just dope people, amazing people. And then, but yeah, the times you'd see me when we're like going, really, really going, I wish I would
Yeah,
have done the maybe 2 or 3 to slow down. But then I was addicted to that fast pace.
exactly.
And then you come home and you
That
need
happened to
that.
me too.
It's like the dopamine hit, right? Because you're like,
Yeah.
you come home and then you just have your, once, your week is not the same as a banging weekend. And now it's like, no, I got to go back to that. But
1 week vacation sounds like, are you crazy? I can't do that. I
yeah,
have
I
to
was
work.
back to back. It's just exhausting. I think that's where I'm like, the PTSD comes from that.
Deteriorates you. It's true. It's too much.
It's
It
wild.
shouldn't be. It's so difficult. I think it takes over 10 years of experience in all, as many things as you can to develop like balance. That's like
Balance.
healthy for you and that keeps letting you evolve in your art and,
Yeah.
techniques, skills mostly.
Right.
It's not just doing one thing. You have to go through all the stages.
Right.
And that the convention is so important.
Absolutely. Like I said, I'm not going to say I'm not ever, I want to do another, I'm going to do some. I just have to, again, now I just have to plan a little extra, make sure it aligns with my schedule now, and then make sure this is like, but I do miss it, but now I miss it for the community. I miss it for it's now more exciting. Like you hit that reset.
Connected.
Yeah. So now I'm more excited to go back out to do a convention for the connections now, for the more meeting people, doing seminars, doing this, sitting down for a seminar, doing, that's the stuff where I think I'm more, it's just the reset. What's your plans for I know you just started in this space, but what are your plans? Like, what are you projecting for like what's to come?
For the future? Probably just open another studio. I just have no idea where. But as I said, I'm trying to shut down my ambitions to dedicate to art at this point. That's just like what I never did in all 22 years. And I found everything as an excuse to not do this. Right. So now that I don't have an excuse, I'm sticking to it. But, life. And then, you have family. And then, you got to meet your ends. And then you want to provide. And then everything. And then you don't dedicate the time. So that's what happened to me. I didn't balance that out. I want to do that right now. And I shut down in my brain every single thing that tells me travel, go back to Goliath, open another shop.
There's a lot.
So I'm going to embrace this year and just work here.
Just kind of keep the ball rolling. Yeah. If you knew then what you knew now, what would you tell yourself as far as like advice to the young artists with ambition and motivation and thinking about all these years of tattooing that you've experienced?
Holy shit. Why do you ever ask me this?
This is like
question kind of like,
this is like the icing on the cake. Yeah.
I think balance.
Yeah.
Which is the one thing I struggle with. I made a choice back then, maybe 15 years ago. I chose not to have a family to do my, my career and build my businesses. And then after you build your businesses, what is that for? And what do I do with this now? And then I found myself being very, very lonely. So I will balance and know as a maximist, you can do this. You can do this and just keep both. You can balance family with your career.
Yeah. That's
what I will tell myself.
Yeah,
just choose both.
Because I know hearing your story that, it's like a lot of us lacked that. We were missing that balance. So no, I get it.
Yeah, I left everything behind when I, left my country. But then I got here and then I had to make that choice. Do I build a family? Do I go back to school? Or do I full force on business? and I chose full force on business.
Absolutely. But I
Yeah.
mean, look, this is like a crazy success story of up to this point from all the things you've been through. I mean, it's one of those things that it's, you know, it's pretty wild to hear all that. It's very interesting. Where can people find your work or book in with you or book in for like their shop and how that process works? Where can people find all your
All my
information?
links are on my website and Instagram.
Okay.
It's at Tattoos by Daye, Daye.
Okay.
Everything is there. And it's my phone, everything. My website, my links for the charity program. If you know anyone, just send them my way in the East Coast. And it's completely free, by the way. And yeah, everything is there.
That's awesome. I appreciate you coming on. I'm so glad we're able to do this. This would have been cool to do it in person, but I love that.
I know.
We're able to share the story and where you're at this moment, and also with your shop and all the things you have going on. I think it's really cool that you're able to offer that to people. It's talk about a meaningful tattoo, huh? Pretty bizarre.
Exactly.
That gives like the whole like the purpose weight to that. Yeah.
If you're around, come work here. You're welcome.
Absolutely. If I have
love having you.
Yeah, plans going to the East Coast. It'd be cool to drop in and see the shop in person, and we can maybe do it again with everybody else.
You do conventions too.
Oh, absolutely. That'd be so cool.
Yeah.
We'll link up for sure again. Appreciate everybody sticking into the end and listening.
Pretty cool stuff you have going on.
No, this is awesome that I just want to be able to like give somebody the chance to spotlight, give you a microphone to talk about something that.
Yeah. There's a lot of us that don't have like a space to connect like this. And this is such a cool way to do that.
Yeah.
I love it.
How are you supposed to put all this in a post to say, this is what I've been through? This is what, no, go check out the story. Yeah.
Awesome.
That's right.
Very grateful for you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Likewise. You have a good one.
You too. Bye now.
Bye. Later on.